Alright, hey, it's Mega here, and here we are in my office. I'm rocking the Virginia City Grand Prix shirt, the 50th one, the wet race one, okay? That was the first one I raced, but anyway, I'm talking about Virginia City Grand Prix 2024 here, alright? This is the results video for the electric class, alright? So, and where I got my ass handed to me by the Ultra Bee and the Storm Bee, apparently, okay? But anyway, yeah, So this is that clip, and I have to say, like, yeah, man, I was worried that these next generation Sauron bikes would give me a run for their money, and they indeed did. Okay, so anyway, let's go see how they did. We'll flip the camera around and we'll go take a look at the VCGP results. Okay. Okay, well, bam, that's the VCGP site. All right, they use the Moto Tally scoring system. All right, it's the what's the word? Use the Moto Tally transponder, right? It's a little sticker that they put on your helmet. I've had the same one for 4 years. Anyway, so this is the adult Saturday and Sunday. Well, it's over. I put it on overall Sunday here, okay? So this is for all the racers, all right? We will go check our overall position, all right, later, all right? But for right now, we're going to take a look at electric. Boom. Okay? So this is us in the electric class. Alright, so here's the results, guys. I know you see them already, but first place was Joel. Alright, Joel Ellis. Alright, he was 901. He was the guy riding the Ultra Bee. Okay, he's the old guy riding the Ultra Bee. Alright, I actually met Joel before at Bike Guys, and he's the one that actually let me ride my first. Yeah, that was the first time I ever rode on the Ultra Bee. Alright, might have been that bike too, who knows? I don't know. Alright, but anyway, yeah, so Joel was first place. Alright, on lap 1, he had 45 minutes. He was in second place. Lap 3, he was at 1 hour 39 minutes. And in third place, and then he won it on lap 3, 2 hours 26 minutes, first place. Okay, and then there's me. All right, I'm second place, guys. I got second place. All right, I already knew, you know, I got to stand on the podium, guys, but they didn't give me a trophy yet. But here I am. So I'm second place. I'm rider 903, Merlin Valencia. My first lap was 51 minutes. I was in fourth place. And the second lap, I was in 1 hour 51 minutes, and I was in fourth place again. And then on lap 3, I was 2 hours and 58 minutes, second place. All right, I just finished shy of the 3 hour mark. Okay. And then yes, I did remember when I was in the pits after I finished my third lap, I did see Hampton Coons moseying in the pits. Okay, he was rider 904. We had actually raced him the year before. Okay, guys, he had the bike that I think he had like a Fox 40, and he had the Qi battery. I remember that he had a Qi battery, and I think he had the KO controller, I think. Okay, but he's running 60 volts. I don't know. I don't know the whole details. I didn't see him the whole race, guys. Okay, maybe he'll chime in what happened to him. He might watch this video. Anyway, yeah. So it was 1 hour and 7 minutes for his first lap. He was in sixth place, and then 2 hours and 8 minutes, he went to fifth place. And then in 3 hours and 13 minutes, so that sounds about right. I think I said it was like 10 minutes. Yeah, I saw him roll in like 10 minutes later at 3 hours and 13 minutes. All right, and then he came in third place. Good job, Hampton, on the podium. All right, I'm not sure. Everyone might have got a trophy. Who knows? All right, but I know me and Joel definitely are gonna get a trophy. Fourth place. Number 900, Christopher Ellis. All right, that's Joel's son. All right, he was the one riding the Storm Bee. So the impressive thing about Chris is that he whooped all our asses. All right, so, in the first 2 laps he led. All right, first 2 laps he was first place, 1-1. And the first lap he came in as 45 minutes and 39 seconds. And then the second lap, 1 hour and 28 minutes. So he showed us what that Stormbee could do. Okay, he told me the Stormbee did great on that course. Okay, he was very impressed in it. He said the only thing that was kind of iffy on it was the whoops. All right, so but everything else, it handled everything nicely. All right, I can tell you this, my Lightbee was getting its ass whooped everywhere. Okay, there's nothing it really excelled at, guys, other than it's easy to pick up. All right, yeah, I dropped it so many times, but yeah, it's not hard to pick up. Okay, so in 5th place is Racer 905. All right, Corey Combs. Yes, I remember I was racing with this dude. All right, and I think this is the dude that he watched my YouTube video and he asked me a question about the race because he said he wanted to race it. So I'm glad he came out and raced. He did very good, guys. Hats off to him. I saw him several times. All right, we passed him a couple times and he passed me a couple times, and I'm not gonna lie, I tried my best to keep up with him and I could not catch him. Okay, so if he passed us, I could not catch him. He was fast, man. His bike probably lower spec. His bike is probably lower spec than our bike. Okay, guys, it's lower spec than my Lightbee is what I'm gonna say. All right, my Lightbee had more tricked out parts is what I'm gonna say. All right, but his first lap he came in 3rd place with 50 minutes. All right, and the second lap he came in 1 hour 36 minutes, 2nd place. Look at that, right behind Chris. That's nuts, right? He'd actually passed Joel on the 2nd lap, but he didn't finish a 3rd lap. So I don't know what the scoop is. I saw them, they were hanging out in the pits when I went out for the 3rd lap, and maybe they just didn't go out for the 3rd lap, or maybe they had issues with their bike. I don't know. Hopefully he'll chime in the comments. Okay, but yeah, hats off to him. He rode really well. I think he's the only one I really saw out there. The only 2 riders I saw out there, guys, was this guy Corey 905, Corey Combs, and Joel. All right, those are the only 2 riders I saw. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I saw this guy. Okay, and 6th place is Racer 902, Glenn Evans. All right, he was the one. I think he was the one on the tricked out Lightbee. All right, he had like literally every mod like that you could get from EBMX on the Lightbee. Okay, guys, he had the 57 amp hour battery, EBMX X9000, same controller as mine. He had a Fox 40, a EXTR. His bike was tricked out to the max, guys. I'm not gonna lie, dude. And then he came in 6th. Okay, so he came in 5th at 53 minutes and 58 seconds. Okay, so yeah, I did see Glenn. All right, Glenn Evans 902. I saw him when I went out for the 2nd lap, I think. Yes. Well, as I came out for the 2nd lap, he was coming in to the finish line. All right, so I know I was ahead of him on the 2nd lap. I saw him come in, so maybe he had some kind of problems. Hopefully he'll see this video and he'll comment. All right, but this is spectacular, guys. We had 6 racers in the electric class. Last year I think we only had like 4 or so. So this is great. The first year I raced this, I think we had about 6 also. Okay, but what's even more extraordinary is that everyone was riding Sauron. So you might as well just call this the Sauron electric class, guys, because they were all Sauron bikes. Okay. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, there were different Sauron bikes, all right, and there was different mods and stuff on them. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably, in terms of bikes, this is probably the toughest lineup, all right, the toughest lineup I've raced against. Okay, yeah, usually it's me and Ted battling it out with the cake and my Lightbee, but this year it was tough, guys, because we had the new Ultra Bee and the new Stormbee. All right, new bikes from next generation bikes from Sauron, and we had some highly modified Lightbees. Okay, one even more modifications than my bike. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Glenn's bike was nuts, man. The stuff that he had done to it, yeah. And then the Hampton's bikes and Corey's bikes were tricked out also. Okay, so yeah, we beat them all. Okay, that's awesome. All right. We'll go over all this other stuff too. But yeah, so just a little recap. I believe when we took off on the first lap, I was behind Chris. I think I passed Joel, and then I was behind Chris, but I never caught up to Chris. I didn't see Chris the whole race, right? This guy, right? Not number 900, the fastest guy, basically. And then he was the guy on the Storm-B. And then I think I was following Joel, and then Corey passed me when we were going up to the bottleneck hill. And then I was riding with Corey for a little while, and then poof, he he disappeared on me. He took off at the top part of the hill. All right. And then I think I ran into Corey again somewhere on the first lap. Somehow I must have passed him or something. And then he passed me again. And I'm not sure. I think we might have passed each other again at some point, but after that, I think he made it back before us. Because see, I was fourth. And then, oh, dude, we made it back a minute right before him, actually. So we didn't do too bad on the first lap. Okay, guys, we were right behind Corey, actually. And then, yeah, and actually Joel came in 5 minutes ahead of us. So we weren't too far from Joel either on the first lap. Yeah, so let's go do the play-by-play lap, the lap play-by-play, since we're doing that. But yeah, I never saw Chris again. All right, he was way ahead of everybody. I saw Joel. I saw Joel on the first lap. He passed us, and I think he passed us again. I think he passed us again on the second lap. So I think we passed him somehow on the second lap, and then he caught up to us again. Yeah, I think that's how it is. I'm not sure. I think I saw Joel twice, 2 or 3 times. All right, and then I saw this Corey like 3 or 4 times. All right, and then I saw Glenn once. I never saw Christopher, and I never saw Hampton. I don't know what happened to Hampton, man. I didn't see him the whole time, but he finished 3rd, guys. So yeah, he did pretty good. So remember, just because you're fast doesn't mean you're gonna win the race. It doesn't. In this race, you don't need to be fast. You just need to finish the race. You know, that's the important part. So it's important to pace yourself too. Okay, so. Especially in this race, because the laps were very long. The laps were 15 miles, and that's a doozy for like any electric bike, apparently. Okay. Okay. Anyway, let's do the play-by-play. It looks like Christopher Ellis came in first on the first lap, 45 minutes and 39 seconds, but Joel, his dad, was right behind him. He was second place. And then Corey, the 905 bike, came in at 50 minutes, 5 minutes after Joel. All right. And then 1 minute. Yeah. So I was 1 minute. I came in 1 minute behind Corey. All right. In fourth. So it was a real close race the first lap. All right. I'm not going to lie. I felt fast on the first lap. I tried to go. That was my fastest lap, I think, the first lap. But I also got really tired towards the end. All right. And then who came in? It was me after Corey, and then Glenn came. That's right. So I remember I saw Glenn come in as I left out for the second lap. All right, so Glenn came in 5th, and then Hampton came in last at 107. I don't know what took him so long. He was like, from us, he was like almost 20 minutes, like 15 minutes. He was 15 minutes away from us. So something must have happened to him. Okay, so on the second lap, right, the tables have turned. No, Hayes Mega was very consistent in his his position. I maintained 4th place 2 laps in a row, guys. Anyway, so on the second lap, Christopher Ellis comes in with a 1 hour and 28 minutes on first place. All right, but he didn't go out for the 3rd lap. Second place was Corey Combs. Actually, Corey passed Joel somewhere, all right, on the second lap. I told you, that dude's fast, man. I rode with him a couple times as I could not keep up. All right, he was like literally like 2-3 minutes, like 3 minutes behind Joel. All right, not too far. On the first lap, Christopher and Joel were right next to each other, and then 5 minutes later it was Corey, and then 1 minute. So me and Corey were really close. Christopher and Joel were really close to each other. And then, yeah, and then Glenn came in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes after me. Then Hampton came in really late. I don't know what happened. Going back to the second lap, Corey passed Joel. All right, his significant lead, like 3 minutes. And then I was still in fourth. All right, I was getting my ass whooped in the second lap, man. Yeah, I was having all those problems with the bike, man. The bike shutting off, and I was working, the mode switch was like getting all crazy on me, and the regen wasn't working properly. Yeah, I was having all sorts of problems on the second and third lap. But anyway, so 151. So I came in fourth, all right, with the 151 after Joel. So Joel was 11 minutes. He was 11 minutes ahead of me. So a pretty big gap, right? The gap's got a lot bigger on the second lap, man. And then in fifth place, Hampton. So Hampton went from all the way from the back. Yeah, Hampton went from the back to fifth place. Okay, so right behind me. Okay, guys. And then Glenn never came back. Something must have happened to Glenn. I'm not sure what happened to him, but he only did one lap. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he'll chime in the comments. Okay, and then it looks like, and then for whatever reason, okay. So this is where everything gets interesting. Okay, guys. So the Hayes Mega has maintained like the fourth spot, the whole time, and then I went all the way to second. All right, on the third lap. So here's what I remember happened. I remember Corey was in the pits when I took off for the third lap. All right, so I passed him when I went out for the third lap. So I know I already passed him, and he was already in second place. Okay, and then Joel, I don't even think I saw Joel, man. Yeah, I heard from what Ted told me, Joel took off 5 minutes after me. All right, he was 5 minutes ahead when he went out for his third lap. Okay, yeah, so I think he'd already passed Corey in the pits, and then he went out on his third lap. All right, and then Chris could not go on. All right, I know from what he told me, he had 10% left in his battery and he couldn't go on. He didn't have a second battery, so he had to quit on the second lap, unfortunately. If he had maintained that pace, he would have whooped all our asses. Okay, gonna lie. All right, so he has the potential to win. All right, guys. So next year, if he comes back with a second battery, watch out. Okay. Yeah. So in my opinion, Chris could have won this. All right, but the battery held him back. All right, I know what that feels like, guys. Anyway, yeah. So it was me and Joel. All right. In the running still for the third lap, all right, and then Hampton came in third, all right. Like I said, Corey was stuck in the pits. Christopher didn't have enough charge to do a third lap because he only had one battery, and then Glenn retired after the first lap. Something happened to him on the second lap, or he just got stuck in the pits on the first lap. Okay. So these three guys are out. And it's just Joel, me, and Hampton battling it out for the podium, all right? So, and then, of course, we all know that Joel won it, all right? Joel won it at 2 hours and 26 minutes. He was a full, was it 36, 46? Whoa. Joel was almost pretty much 30 minutes ahead of us, man. Yeah, I had a lot of problems on that second lap, man. That's when I crashed really hard and I hit my head. Yeah. It was all bad type of thing. Okay, and then Hampton came in at 3 hours and 13 minutes. All right, so that's how it is. All right, guys. So Joel finished at 2:28. I finished at 2:58, just shy of 3 hours, and they wouldn't let me cross the finish line. And then Hampton came in at 3 hours and 13 minutes. All right, so. I think there's a thing that tells you how far you are from the other person. We'll take a look at that. But just by looking at this, Joel was 30 minutes ahead of me. All right. And then Hampton was 15 minutes behind me. Okay. So our gap to Joel was pretty bad. Joel pretty much whooped us on the last lap. All right. And I'm not gonna lie, I was slow as shit on the last lap. I was trying to conserve my battery. I thought I was gonna have yeah. On the second lap, I had battery problems, guys. So you'll see that in the lap times right here. Boom. Okay. All right. So we're gonna check out these lap times. All right. Well, obviously, the way I went over them before is who's gonna be the fastest. Okay. Christopher had the fastest first lap time at 45 minutes. All right. Yeah, he had a 45-minute lap on the first place. The second fastest was 45:55. Not just a few seconds. What? What? No way. Yeah, dude. Joel was like a few seconds behind Chris. Yeah. And then Corey was 5 minutes behind Joel. All right, and then I was 1 minute behind Corey. Not too bad. I did pretty good on the first lap. That's because I had the best battery on the first lap, guys. All right, and then actually Glenn was like almost 3 minutes behind me. All right, and then Hampton was all out there with 1 hour and 7 minutes. All right, so Hampton was like 50 minutes behind Joel. No, not 50 minutes. Like 20 minutes. He was like 20 minutes behind Joel. Quite a bit. All right. Okay, and then the second lap, Christopher got even faster. He got a 43:12, and then he actually came in 10 minutes faster than Joel. Oh, Joel had that problem with the battery dying. All right, that was the problem. Joel's battery died at the end of the second lap, so that cost him like time. That must have cost him like 10 minutes, okay? And guess what? Hazel Mega had problems with his battery on the second lap, all right? The medium-sized battery I had, it cut out on me at the end of the second lap, all right? So the second lap, I was actually pretty fast. I think I might have been able to catch up to Joel. I might have been able to catch up to Joel if I didn't have that battery problem at the I don't know. I rode pretty fast the second lap too. And I was still slower on the second lap, guys. My first lap was 51, and my second lap was 1 hour, so I must have had more problems on the first lap, man. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of nuts how big the difference is. It's just I was just getting more tired and tired, okay, guys? Yeah. But yeah, Christopher whooped us with a 43-minute laps, man. That's fast. And then Joel, 53. And then Corey was at 40. Oh, no, wait a minute. Yeah, it was Christopher, and then it was Corey. Corey had a 46-minute lap. Yeah, he was right next to Christopher. Holy moly. On a light bee, guys. On a light bee. That's nuts, right? That just goes to show. It's rider, you know. It's not the bike, it's the rider. But yeah, he was pretty close to Christopher, actually, in the lap times, okay? And then Joel had the 53 minutes, and then I was 7 minutes. Hampton actually did a little bit better on his first lap with a 1 hour. I got worse by like 10 minutes. So, okay, and then the last lap, all right, these guys got eliminated, poof, okay, because they didn't go out and finish their third lap, or they either didn't finish their third lap or they didn't start the third lap. All right, something happened. But at the end, Joel pulled off a 47, pretty much as fast as he was on his first lap because he had a fresh battery. And then Merlin, me, I got a 1 hour 7 minutes. Actually, Hampton was faster on his third lap than I was on my third lap. All right, but Hampton was so far behind that he couldn't catch us. Okay, and so that's how it goes, guys. So let's take a look at my lap times. 51 minutes. All right, I was the fastest on the first lap. On the second lap, I did 1 hour, so I was like about almost 10 minutes behind on the second lap. And the third lap, I had a pretty bad crash, and I was trying to get the bike. I was trying to keep the bike from losing too much. I was riding conservatively, okay, guys? One, because my body was all beat up and tired, and then two is that I was trying to conserve power because I ran out of power in the last lap. All right, so I didn't know how this battery was going to do. I hate to say it, if I had 3 of those Qi batteries, I don't think I could have rode as fast as I wanted to. All right, but because of what happened on the second lap, I decided, hey, let's take it easy on the third lap, okay? So that's why this time is longer, and I got hurt on the third lap, man. I had a bad crash, okay, because of that stupid regen throttle and the egg rider, okay? And yeah, that's it. It was Joel, me, and then Hampton at the end. Okay, time behind the leader. All right, so here we go. The leader was Christopher, all right? And then Joel was 60. I told you 16 seconds right behind Christopher, all right? 16 seconds. Oh, so these are how far you are from first place, all right? So Corey was 4 minutes from first place. I was 5 minutes from first place. Joel was literally right behind first place, all right? And then who's fourth? Me, I was fourth. Okay, I was 5 minutes behind Christopher, and then Glenn was 8 minutes. All right, so it's actually the first lap was actually really close racing. It wasn't too bad. I would say these two. All right, the Ellises. All right, were doing really good. They were racing each other. And then yeah, it's like me and Corey were racing here. All right, and then Glenn wasn't too far behind either. Like I said, he popped in as I left. Okay, on the second lap, and he could have. I think Glenn only had one battery. He could have gone out on the second lap. I don't know what happened after the first lap, man. He's the one with the biggest battery, man. He should have been able to do 2 laps. Okay, so the tables have turned. Okay, guys. Chris is still the leader, but Corey passed Joel. All right, Joel had that problem with his battery on the hill going up to lap 2 at finishing lap 2. All right, so I think that's how Corey got in front of him. Okay, and then it was me at 12 minutes behind Corey. No, I was 12 minutes behind Joel. I had problems with my battery too. Okay, second lap, man. And then the fifth was Hampton, and then Glenn was something happened to him. He didn't do a second lap, right? He didn't finish the second lap, that's for sure. Okay, and then Joel went out, and he because Christopher had to retire, all right, because he didn't have another battery. Joel took the lead, all right, and how did that happen? I don't think Corey went out and did his third lap because I passed Corey in the pits. I remember seeing him. Okay, so that's a scoop. So I know Joel and me passed Corey in the pits. All right, guys. And then Joel finished, and then I was 32 minutes behind Joel, and then Hampton was 14 minutes behind me. All right, so we were way back there, okay, guys? Both of us were, I was way back behind Joel, all right? And then Hampton was kind of creeping up on us, but not quite, all right? Like I said, I was riding it real conservatively on the third lap. Okay, what is this summary? I don't know what this is. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Fit for print? Oh, I don't know what this is either. Okay. Okay, guys, so that's how it is. That's how the electric race went. Okay, now let's go check out our overall time. All right, what if I hit this? Oh, it just shows all our scores for Virginia City Grand Prix. Remember, this is my 4th Virginia City Grand Prix, guys. 21, 22, 23, and 24. Okay, yeah, and if you guys are wondering, I was 2nd place on the 21st. I was 3rd place on the 22nd, and then I was 1st place last year, and this year I'm 2nd place. All right, hopefully next year we can grab the 1st place, or at least stay in 2nd place. Okay, but always wish to be number 1, right? Okay, so we're gonna go do the overall. Okay, and I'm not really sure where I placed. Let me. Yeah, I don't know, man. Okay, guys, man. They don't have an overall. There's no overall for Red Loopers, okay, guys? Because we rode a different course. But anyway, Warrior Novice. I don't know what warrior novice is. I know warriors they're veterans, all right? So Hades Mega could actually race with these guys. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what loop these guys were doing, all right? But if these guys were riding the red loop, okay, never mind. Let me check. Warrior novice, all right, U.S. military veterans. I could actually race in that, guys. I'm a veteran, so maybe if I want to race on the full loop, I'll do the warrior class someday, okay? But yeah. Sunday red loop, all right, so it's vintage, adventure, diva, and dual sport, all right, and then electric. So we can compare our finish time to all of those guys and see how we did, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. Boom. All right, so I think it was vintage, yeah. Okay, so we got, oh my god, these guys killed us. This guy killed us. All these guys that did 4 laps killed us, guys, because they did 4 laps. Actually, Hades Omega could have done a 4th lap. I'm not gonna lie. They told me to go out and do a 4th lap. Okay, I came in just before 3 hours, and I'm like, no, I don't have enough charge to do a 4th lap. You know what? I might have been able to do a 4th lap if I went out with the Qi battery. I might have been able to make it back if I was really conservative. Okay, but anyway, yeah, these guys did 4 laps. They totally destroyed us. All right, Tom Maples. This guy did 3 laps, 3 hours and 3 minutes. So we beat this Harold guy. Okay, Harold on the 804 bike. I'm not really sure what he was riding. All right, because we got 258. Okay, so if we were to race against the vintage guys, that's how we stack up against the vintage guys. All right, now the venture guys. Here we go. There was 4 of them. All right, the rest of those guys got DNF'd also. The vintage guys. There was a couple vintage guys I saw. You know, there were some pretty fast ones and there were some pretty slow ones. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Anyway, this guy Mario, holy moly, this guy did 5 laps on an adventure bike. What a freaking beast. He was riding the Tenere. Okay, there you go. Mario Murillo on a Tenere, all right? This might have been a Tenere, I'm not sure, but this is Yamaha. I did see a Tenere in front of us, all right? And I saw it on the trail a couple times, all right? And this guy did 5 laps. What a beast, all right? There's no way we would have beat him because it's on his 3rd lap. He was almost like an hour ahead of us. Okay, holy crap. Well, beast mode, I'm telling you. Tyler Cross on a KTM, all right? I think that was a KTM Adventure. I don't remember what kind of KTM Adventure it was. Well, man, we were pretty close on the 3rd lap. We almost caught up to this guy. We were like 10 minutes behind this guy, but he still beat us. Okay, but we beat this guy, David Collenberg and John Illier. All right, I don't know what they were riding. Okay, but yeah, we beat these guys. We hella beat these guys. All right. Okay. And then Diva, all right, all the lady racers, all right, this is how we stack up against them. Oh, wow, they only did 3 laps. Okay, we beat all the Divas, guys. All right, Hades Omega on the electric bike beat all the Divas. We beat all of them, all right, and that means, you know what that means? That most of the electric class beat the Divas, all right. The fastest Diva rider, 839, Kendra Angel Atkinson on a Husky, did a 311. All right, remember we got 258, guys. We beat 2nd place, we beat 3rd place, and we beat 4th. Yeah, well, like I said, we beat the Diva class, guys. We got a 258, so we did it, guys. We beat the ladies. So hopefully, you know what? We did have a woman electric rider one year. Yeah, only 1 year we had one. All right, and I think she was on a stock Light B. I think she only had 1 battery, unfortunately. So not prepared. All right. So if you come to Virginia City Grand Prix, bring more batteries, guys, because I'm telling you, 1 battery ain't gonna cut it. Even 2 batteries ain't gonna cut it. At least on a Light B. Okay. So yeah. So that's a scoop. We beat all the Divas. I don't know if that's something to be proud of. All right, but I'm not gonna lie. There were some fast ladies out there. I saw them. Some of the ladies don't compete with the Divas, guys. They compete with everyone else, all the other men. So okay, all right. So here was the dual sport class, and I think all these KTMs are not KTMs. I think these guys were the guys on the scooters, guys. Okay, the guys on the scooters did awful. All right. Anyway, so yeah, they put all the scooters in the novice class, guys. Yeah, you'll see them if you watch my video. You'll see a ton of them on my video, and we're just passing in them left and right, and looks like they were having all sorts of problems, and they were hanging out together on the trail. And yeah, dude, I'm telling you, that's what it looked like to me. Or anyway. So this guy in a dual sport, Dallas Ott, rider 890. I don't know what he was riding. He beat us, all right? He destroyed us, guys. He beat us by like an hour, all right? On his third lap, he was 2 hours and 2 minutes, so he was 56 minutes ahead of us. Okay? Parker Jenks, 891. Oh, look at this. Oh man, 258.14. Hold on. 258.14. What was my time? 258.38. All right, we were like 30 seconds. 30 seconds behind that guy. All right, literally that guy was right in front of me as I pulled in for my third lap. After my third lap. So we were right behind this guy. So we would be like third place if we were raced against the dual sport guys on the electric bike, okay? Yeah. But this guy went out and did a fourth lap. So yeah, that's right, because they wanted me to do a fourth lap, and there's no way I would have been able to do it. Okay, and well, I could have tried, but I don't think we would have made it. All right, guys, it would suck. All right, we beat all these guys here. All right, from here on back, from the 5th position and back, is DNF. All right, these guys did not finish. All right. Yeah, none of these guys did 3 laps, so they got DNF. Oh, but what about this one? This one did 1 lap, but they didn't get DNF. How's that work? Okay, anyway. Yeah, so we beat this guy, Scott Fisk. Okay, and that's it. All right, guys, and so with that, that's the end of the results for VCGP 2024. All right, VCGP 2024 in the books. All right, where Hayes Omega's still making history at VCGP. All right. Yeah, so I handed over the first place to Joel this year. Hopefully next year we can whoop his ass. All right, but I'm not gonna lie, he gave us an ass whooping. All right, him and Chris gave us an ass whooping. All right, him, Chris, and Corey gave us an ass whooping, all right? But Hayes Omega was able to maintain that 4th position for the first, second laps, and then we hung on and we got 2nd place, all right? Yeah, so, I mean, this race is very hard for electric bikes, guys. To race this race with a light B on those kind of trails is brutal. It's punishing, okay, guys? It's not easy, all right? But shows you it can be done, all right? Last year I raced a kid named Quinn, and I actually saw him this year, and he said, "Hey, how did you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I think I got 2nd." That's what I told him. But anyway, he raced with Ted last year, all right? I didn't see him. He was racing with Ted, and he kept up with Ted on a stock light B, guys. All right, so that just goes to show you it's all about it's not about the machine, it's about the rider, okay? So a light B can be fast on this if you're a badass. Okay, so let's say Hayes Omega is your average Joe rider, okay? I'm not gonna lie, man. I wouldn't say I'm the most best rider, but I'm also not the most noob rider, okay? And I'm old, all right? I'm in my 40s, all right? So I could race in the vet 40s classes if I wanted, all right? But yeah, but that's a scoop. You know, don't look at the machine. You know, the machine is like 20% of the equation. The other 80% of the equation is the rider. Okay, guys. Maybe you can throw some conditions and weather in there and all that stuff, you know. But yeah, 80% rider, 20% machine. Okay, and you know that just shows you like 905. That Corey dude, he was fast, man. I could not keep up with him, dude. Those trails were just too punishing for me in the light V, man. I couldn't handle it, but apparently he could. Okay, yeah, so I've seen some really impressive riders on light Bs. So just because Don't think the Lightbee is an inferior machine, all right? With the right rider, it can be fast, this type of thing, all right? But I'm not gonna lie, all our Lightbees were tricked out. The Ultra Bee and the Storm Bee were pretty much stock. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Just think about it. If Joel had a modified, if Joel had a highly modified Ultra Bee, he probably whooped all our butts, all right? As far as I know, there's not a whole lot of mods for Storm Bees, okay? I very seldom see Storm Bees for sale in the U.S., all right? There's a couple out there. I saw one the other day. I actually almost wanted to buy it. It was like $5,500, man. But yeah, I very seldom see Storm Bees for sale. And that's actually in this race was the very first time I've ever seen a Storm Bee in real life, okay? So that's got to tell you something, all right? The Ultra Bee is like the next thing, all right? It's like Lightbee 2.0, all right? That's what I'll say. It's a better Lightbee is what it is, all right? And it's like it's in between the Lightbee and the Storm Bee type of thing. So I want an Ultra Bee so bad, guys. Okay. Yeah. I think the Ultra Bee is where it's at, right? If you can get an Ultra Bee and you can modify it a little bit, you'll do good, okay? I think that's the bike that I would want to be racing, especially for this race, all right? So, and the Ultra Bee is pretty popular already, and there's a good amount of aftermarket products for it. There's products to make it faster, okay? So, as it's, you know how Hades Omega's Lightbee stacks up against a stock Ultra Bee, I would have to say my Lightbee is faster than an Ultra Bee. It's faster than an Ultra Bee, but the brakes aren't as good as an Ultra Bee. My Lightbee is lighter than the Ultra Bee. It's smaller than the Ultra Bee. Doesn't necessarily mean it's better though, man. The suspension, I'm not really sure about the suspension. I would say the suspension is better on the Ultra Bee because it's motorcycle stuff, okay, guys? It's bigger, it's beefier, you know. It probably has more travel, all right, more ground clearance. It's a bigger bike, you know. It's got a full seat, all right. But yeah, you know, if I could get an Ultra Bee, and a second battery and an eBMX controller for it, I think I think that would be a pretty good that would be a good Lightbee killer. Okay, already, okay. Just a couple, like, I know you're gonna buy the bike for like $6,000, and you still gotta throw a couple extra thousand into it, man. So they already have suspension upgrades, all right. EXT already making a shock for it. I forgot what it was called. I'll put a subtitle below. I know they make the Arma for the Lightbee. And then there's already fork upgrades for it. All right, I think Fast Ace makes a fork for it, or maybe the stock fork is a Fast Ace. I'm not sure. All right, but the battery's already pretty good on the Ultra Bee, but there's aftermarket batteries for the Ultra Bee as well. Okay, they're not cheap. I just saw one on AliExpress for like $3,000. It's ouch. Yeah, you think the Lightbee batteries are expensive, man. The Storm Bee and the Ultra Bee batteries are even more expensive, all right? Like, literally, the battery for the... Yeah, actually, I saw a battery for the Ultra Bee. I saw Joel's battery, the spare battery, and it was like 40 pounds, okay? So, it's literally almost twice as heavy as a stock Lightbee battery, okay, guys? I would say... Well, I don't know. How much was... I think my Qi battery is around 30 pounds. Yeah, somewhere around there, around 30 pounds. So that's not too far off from an Ultra Bee battery. So like a nice Lightbee battery, right? A nice Lightbee aftermarket battery is almost about as much as an Ultra Bee battery will. I picked it up and it didn't feel that heavy. They said it was 40 pounds, but I picked it up. I was like, I don't know, it doesn't feel that heavy to me, man. It feels, yeah, it felt a little bit heavier than the Qi battery, okay? Probably about the same weight as the eBMX battery. Man, that thing was so heavy when I borrowed it, man. I didn't like it. Yeah, it was so heavy. Okay, so that's how it stacks up. But what's really impressive is the Storm Bee, how well it did. Okay, just because the Storm Bee is a bigger bike, it's got more travel, more suspension, it's bigger, beefier components. All right, and it had 22 kilowatts. All right, guys, that's a lot of power. It's not as power as my Redshift. It's not as much power as my Redshift. You know, I hate to say it. I wish I could just race a Redshift out there, all right? That would be... I wouldn't mind racing a redshift on this. All right, if I had a redshift with, you know, a dirt bike redshift, I have the Supermoto. Okay, guys. If I had the dirt bike like a MX or the EX redshift, we could totally do Virginia City. It can do 40 miles. So for sure, I'm pretty sure the redshift could do 2 laps. Okay, for sure. If I was to race a redshift in this race, 2 laps. I think you could do 2 laps on a redshift. If you can wrestle that big ass bike, but the redshift has very good suspension. All right, that's the one thing about I like about the redshift. It just soaks everything up. You won't be nearly as tired riding the redshift. I'll tell you that, man. I've ridden my redshift SM off road in the dirt, and after I'm done riding it, I didn't feel tired. Okay, I didn't feel tired. I didn't feel beat up. But the problem with the redshift is you can't easily swap the battery. That's the big disadvantage there, okay? And it's heavy. It's heavy and it's big. So I don't know. I don't like riding big heavy bikes, man. After riding the Lightbee, I like it lightweight, man. But yeah, you need bigger, beefier suspension, man. And the Stormbee, you know, has it. All right. In my opinion, yeah. As you guys can see, the way Chris rode that bike, a Stormbee is probably the best bike you could race in VCGP, all right, for electric class. If you had like multiple batteries for a Stormbee, and they're swappable, you can take them out. You would have it, man. Okay. What other bike could compare? You know, it has. Okay, so for VCGP, the number one thing is you need to be able to swap batteries. Okay, one battery is not gonna cut it, guys. You might be able to get 2 laps, as you can see. Joel was able to do 2 laps on the Ultra B, and Chris was able to do 2 laps on the Stormbee. All right, but yeah, no, you never know how long the course is going to be. Okay, so that's the problem. So if we have to do 3 laps, you better bring 3 batteries. All right, you better bring 3 batteries that can finish at least 1 lap. Okay, one of Betty's Mega's batteries didn't quite finish 1 lap. All right, so that's the scoop. All right, you better bring a bike that you can swap batteries, and you better have like at least 3 batteries. Okay. That's my suggestion. All right, if you guys if any of you are planning to race VCGP with an electric bike, make sure you either have like a colossal freaking battery, like I'm taking a lot of range, man, a lot of capacity, all right, or have multiple batteries. All right, my suggestion: have multiple batteries. All right, just you can go into the pits. As you can see, it doesn't take long to swap the batteries. It literally takes like less than a minute to swap batteries and then take a drink and head on back out. All right, so doesn't take a long time to swap batteries at all. All right, you'll probably lose a minute and you'll go back out. Okay, type of thing. All right, I think that is better than just like going back out again and then maybe you won't make it back. That type of thing. Okay, yeah. But so as it stands, I don't know what other bikes are out there, man. But a Talaria. What about a Talaria? Okay, guys. Yeah, you know what? A Talaria would do pretty good. I think the Talaria is heavier than the Lightbee. The MX4 is heavier than the Lightbee, but it has more range. It has a bigger battery. I think it's got like a 40 something amp hour battery. You might be able to do 2 laps on a Talaria MX4. Okay, I've never ridden one, but I've raced against one before, and it's pretty impressive. The Talaria MX4. It's like a slightly beefier Lightbee. Okay, but if Haze Omega was to pick a bike to win VCGP, Ultra B. That's what I would pick. Okay, I would get an Ultra B and do some make it good for off-road. All right, make it the best bike you can for off-road. Do suspension upgrades on it, get a second battery, maybe get some better wheels for it. I'm not sure. Joel had different wheels. All right, I'll tell you that. He had, that's the one mod he did have. He had wheels on it. Okay, I think he had an 1821 setup, and I think because he had an 1821 setup, he couldn't use the traction control. The traction control might have helped. I'm not sure. I don't have traction control, so I'm not gonna lie. I spun my tires a bunch of times. Sometimes 22, sometimes I know 15. Sometimes 15 kilowatts is too much, man. I'm telling you. All right. Yeah. So, but even like, yeah, I even had the longer swing arm and everything. It's still like comparing apples to oranges compared to an Ultra B, man. It's got like better brakes. I think that makes a big difference. The brakes are shitty on the Light B. That's what I don't like, man. I mean, I suppose you can make them better, but they'll still never stack up to like regular motorcycle brakes. Okay. So if I was to build, if I was to build a Ultra B for Virginia City Grand Prix, okay, I would have, just give me an Ultra B, give me a second battery, give me better wheels, alright, and that's a lot. I'm already asking for a lot of shit, man. Get rid of that belt, do a chain conversion, alright, but I guess they didn't have a problem. I just still didn't have a problem with this belt, so I guess it's okay. I don't think nobody was running a belt, and out of all the Light Bs, I think we were all running chains, alright. All Light Bs were changed to or do chain conversions. The Ultra B had a belt still, and Joel said he's never had a problem with the belt. Okay, yeah, and the Storm B has a built-in gearbox. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that with the Storm B. All right, so yeah, so either a stock Storm B or an Ultra B with a EBMX. All right. So what I like about the EBMX controller is it has that regen throttle. I know I had a lot of problems with that regen throttle during this race, all right, and I didn't get a chance to test it out beforehand. So I'll get it dialed in for the next race, hopefully, man. For Supermoto, it's fine. For dirt biking, it is not fine. All right, we need to fix it. All right, and I know the problem. I had the same problem with the Light B, and I had the same problem with the BAC controller, and I should have just, you know, did the same thing. All right. Okay, that's the winning bike Hades Omega would build. All right, Ultra B, second battery, maybe wheels. All right, maybe wheels, at least better tires. Okay. I don't know what tires come out of the Ultra B. And then yeah, work on the suspension. Just make sure the suspension is tuned for you as a rider. Okay, make sure the springs are up to snuff, all right, for the person that's riding it, and make sure you have the suspension set up right. I would set the suspension up super plush, okay? Because those rocks are just, yeah, man, those rocks are just waiting to like knock you around, man. I would say for Virginia City, super soft suspension, okay? Yeah, and then that's pretty much it, man. The traction is awful at Virginia City, and so the good thing about running the stock size wheels on the Ultra B is you get traction control, all right? And I think the traction control could help you at Virginia City, okay? Because it's so slippery, all right? But make sure you have the best tires you can get, okay? Type of thing. I run a gummy tire, all right, and it's okay. It does okay. I haven't totally ripped them up, so I think I'm gonna change them though, because I looked at them, they look pretty bad. Okay, yeah, okay. So I'm not gonna lie, there's this bike that Hades Omega's been kind of lusting after. All right, there's another bike Hades Omega's been lusting after. All right, there's the Ultra B. All right, I've wanted an Ultra B for like more than a year now, but then thanks to Joel, right? But and that was before the race, all right. Before I met Joel at this race, right? I met him before this, all right. But there's this bike called the Arctic Leopard, all right. Arctic Leopard EXE, I think is what it's called, all right. EXE 800 and the EXE 880, all right. These are enduro bikes from Arctic Leopard, and I looked at them and they look really impressive. They're about like 51 horsepower. It's got a regen throttle, all right, or it's got a regen brake lever, all right. So it has this nice setup that I think I would love, all right. It's got a mechanical foot brake, just like a regular dirt bike, but it also has a regen lever, all right, a regen, like a brake lever, right, a regular brake lever, not a thumb throttle, a brake lever, okay. And I think I would like that combo better, all right. So that way, I I could use this one to use the regen, and I use my foot brake, all right, on the mechanical brake if I needed it, all right. So I'm not having to juggle around the handlebars so much. The handlebars aren't as cluttered. I think I would like that setup better, all right. Yeah, and it's got 51 horsepower. It's got, I heard it's got 12 inches of travel, some serious travel, and it's not that heavy for an enduro bike. Okay, it's enduro bike weight. All right, it's about 240, yeah, around 240 pounds. All right, you're talking about, yeah, you're talking about it's 100 pounds more heavier than the Light Bee. All right, it's 100 more pounds heavier than the Light Bee. However, it's 40 pounds lighter than the Storm Bee, and it's more powerful than the Storm Bee. So it's lighter and more powerful than the Storm Bee. All right, and the Storm Bee kicked all our asses. So this just got to tell you something, man. This Arctic Leopard bike could whoop everyone's ass at Virginia City. Okay, and I heard that you can, I don't know 100%, but I think you can swap the batteries fast. Okay, it has swappable batteries. Okay, and that's what you need for VCGP. All right, or any other like a cross country race, Grand Prix race. You need to have the ability to swap batteries. All right, so that's the scoop. All right, anyway, so that's all. That's the results video for Virginia City Grand Prix 2024, and Hayes Mega's thoughts about the future. All right, and what bike I think would be best for Virginia City. I would maybe just get Ultra Bee, man. That's the best bike. All right, I know the Storm Bee was super fast, but I think a modified Ultra Bee could beat a Storm Bee. Okay, that's my opinion. Okay, I mean, we saw the Storm Bee was really good, all right, but I think if you got an Ultra Bee and you modded it up, it could be just as good as a Storm Bee. Okay, I think the Storm Bee is like the sweet spot, all right, or the Light Bee is just, the suspension is just not good enough on the Light Bee. That's what I'm gonna say. You can have the best suspension on the Light Bee, it still wouldn't be enough for VCGP, man. It's just gonna beat you up. Okay. I would love to race an Alta in Virginia City Grand Prix, but the Alta won't make it. All right, if you had like 2 Alta bikes, okay, yeah, if you got 2 Alta bikes together and you just took one out after, like you just swap every lap or something, yeah, you swap every lap and you just plug it into the charger, maybe you could do that. I don't know, but I don't know if that would be against the rules or something. All right, but you can't swap the battery on an Alta. At least you can't. I think there's a way you can do it, but not on a stock one, okay? It's not easy, okay? Same thing with the Varg, okay? So the Varg is a very high-spec electric bike, and you can't swap the battery on it easily, okay? So I think a Varg would probably do pretty good at Virginia City, but it'd probably run out of charge. That's what I'm thinking, all right? I don't know. I haven't gotten to ride a Varg yet, guys, but from what I heard, it's very impressive. And it'll run circles around a redshift, okay, type of thing, all right? But from what I've heard, it's actually not all that much impressive compared to a redshift either. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Home built bike, guys. Maybe a home build will be the way to go, man. Hayes Mega's thinking about it, man. There has to be something I can do to make a VCGP killer electric bike, man. One bike that could just do 3 laps, super duper fast, all right? Maybe do 4 laps, you know? Build a bike that could do 4 laps VCGP super fast, and that you wouldn't get beat up riding it. Okay, make it so you could just ride sitting down the whole time, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Hayes just wants to ride like an old man, dude. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, that's my thoughts on VCGP's electric race. All right. I think I've kind of reached the limits of what the Light Bee can do for me, you know. And like I kind of looking somewhere higher, but it's like, yeah, I don't have the money. Okay, I put all my money into the Light Bee. Is the sad thing. All right, yeah. So that's the scoop. All right. Okay. So yeah. So that's the state of how VCGP is with the electric bikes now. Okay, the next generation of electric bikes, i.e., Ultra Bee and Storm Bee. You know, and there's a bunch of other bikes out there that came after the Light Bee as well. All right, It's just the Light B is kind of a dinosaur now. Okay, that's what I'll say. All right, and I know it's a very popular bike, but yeah, there's other better bikes coming out. All right, yeah, they have that E-Ride Pro now. There's that 79 Falcon bike. There's a lot of bikes that are already coming out that out of the package are better than the Light B. Okay, that's not to say that you couldn't mod a Light B or you can just ride the wheels off a Light B, as we have seen from I've seen from 2 riders already. Okay, 2 badass riders on. Well, okay, one of them was on a stock Light B. Another one was about the same as mine. All right, maybe a little less modded than mine is what I say. Okay, and he still whooped all our asses. Okay, yeah. So that's kind of the state of things. There's going to be bigger and better bikes as the years go by, and the Light B, you know, won't be on top anymore. Okay, but yeah, Ted won it a number of years with the cake. Okay, so but the cake is no more. So that's the thing, man. That's the way I see it. The Light B is kind of like a dead end, man. I don't know how much better we can make it. Yeah, and also another thing is my batteries aren't up to snuff anymore. My batteries are kind of worn out, and I've really only got 1 good battery now, so I would have to invest in more batteries. VCGP is the only race that I do that would require like 3 batteries. Okay, if I can get like 2 good batteries, yeah. But yeah, so VCGP really threw a curveball for the electric class. Okay. The red loop was 15 miles, okay? That is not good, all right? 15 miles is a long ways, all right? You have to do your bike, let's just put it this way, guys. Your electric bike has to be able to do 15 miles of off-road, all right, range, all right? I know my Light B, I know my Light B very well, and I know my Light B can do 20 miles of off-road range, all right? 20 miles of very, you know, aggressive riding in the dirt, all right? And so that's got to tell you you're only going to get 1 battery, okay, guys? You're not going to be able to do 2 laps with 1 battery, all right? Now, maybe if you have a modified, well, okay, just think about it this way. The stock Hades Omega's battery is 30 amp hours, and I can do 20 miles on it, all right? So you better have a battery that can do 60 amp hours to be able to do 2 laps at least, okay? So you never know how long these laps are going to be. Hopefully they'll be less than 20, okay? They'll be less than 20 miles, all right? Because 20 miles is the extreme, like the total range of the Light B, and I wouldn't cut it close, all right? 15 is doable, okay, for 1 battery. For 1 Light B battery, okay? All right, that's the way I see it, all right? But as we saw, an Ultra B could almost do 2 laps. Almost, all right? Maybe if Joel had taken it a little bit easier, then maybe he could have done 2 laps with 1 battery without that little snafu at the end, okay? All right, maybe aftermarket, even aftermarket Ultra B battery would be good, okay? Yeah. But as you can see, a Storm B can do 2 laps. The battery is massive on the Storm B, guys. But yeah, a Storm B could do 2 laps. We saw because Chris came back on the 2nd lap, he still had 10%. So the Storm B was able to do the 2 laps without much of a hit on performance, is what I'm going to say. Okay. When I'm riding out there, I have to ask myself, can we go fast? Or do we have to conserve the power, all right? And on the 3rd lap, I had to conserve the power because I didn't know how good this battery was going to be, okay? If I had 3 really nice batteries, then I could say, yes, let's rip it, all right? Hold that throttle wide open whenever you can, Merlin. And that's what I did on the 1st lap, man. That's why my 1st lap was fast. I was comparably fast to everyone else in the electric class on the first lap, right? Why? Because I had the cheap battery and I had fresh muscles. Okay, that too, all right. That contributes to it a lot, all right. But yeah. So the batteries, they make the biggest difference, guys. So if you're gonna race VCGP, guys, and I mean we only have to do 3 laps during VCGP. you better bring at least 3 batteries, all right? Or you better freaking make sure your first battery, your one battery can do at least 2 laps, you know? All right, you just, all I'm saying is you don't want to be out there pushing your bike, okay? That is the worst, all right? You don't want to be stuck out there. I've done it like 3 times in a row, guys, and it's not fun, okay? Don't be that guy, the one guy that's pushing the bike, that like I was at the end of the second lap, man. I was like, oh shit, man, I've got to push it up this freaking hill. This sucks. Trying to get the bike on and on. Yeah, man, I don't know what we're gonna do about this bad battery, man. But anyway, so that's the scoop, man. Yeah, they really threw a curveball to us this year. 15 mile red loop. Someone had told me it was 8 miles, and 8 miles would have been cake compared to what we rode. That was literally 8 miles is half of almost half of what 15 miles is, man. So, whoever said 8 miles is wrong, man. That shit, no way. That's one thing. All right. Yeah, no way, man. 15 miles. I think that's. I have to look at my videos, but I think there was a year. There was a year at VCGP where the laps were pretty long, and the same thing. Yeah, we can only do one lap a battery, and it was yes, that's right. So I think the second year that I did it, Hayes Mega brought 2 batteries, and I brought a generator to charge the first battery. When I came back, I would swap the other battery in because it wouldn't be fully drained, right? Well, it didn't work, okay, guys. And why didn't it work? Because they threw another curveball at us. All right, they gave us a longer laps again, man. So I think that second year that I did it, yeah, the laps were long. I don't remember how long it was, but it must have been close to 15 miles. I think it was like maybe 13 miles or something. Yeah, but it wasn't enough to do 2 laps. That's for sure. If it had been 8 miles, it would have been a different story. I'm not gonna lie. If the loops were 8 miles, Chris would have won, Joel would have got second place, and maybe Corey would have got third place, or I would have got third place. Okay, that's my guesstimation. All right, if VCGP 2024 had the 8 mile loop, all right, that the 8 mile red loop that I heard about, then that's the way it would have ended. All right. Chris would have got first place. Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait. 30 miles, right? So the Stormbee can do 30 miles. What's 30 divided by 8? Yeah. 8 times 3 is 24. So, and the Stormbee can go 30 miles. Okay? Yeah, the Stormbee can go 30 miles and it'll still have 10% left. So, yeah, so it'll be 24 miles for the whole 3 laps. So if we had the 8 mile loops, yeah, that's the way it would have happened, all right? Chris on the Stormbee would have got first place. Joel probably would have been second place on the Ultra Bee, and then either me or Corey would have been third place, okay? Probably Corey. I'm not sure. We were pretty close. I'm not gonna lie. Corey was a faster rider than me, but I don't know. Somehow I was able to get in front of him a bunch of times, so I don't know how that goes. Yeah, I saw him several times, like almost a handful of times is what I'm going to say. Maybe I passed him in the pits. Maybe he had problems in the pits. You know, maybe Hayes Mega's battery swaps were much more efficient type of things. All right, so yeah, pit time makes a big difference. All right, well, I tell you this, man, I would spend a good minute drinking guzzling water. Okay, tell you that. Okay, anyway, so yeah, that's Hayes Mega's Fantasy versus Virginia City GP 2024 Fantasy Racing. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. All right, that's how it would have been if it was 8 mile laps. But yeah, because it was 15 mile laps, it made the race very difficult. All right, so that's the problem with these bikes. They can't go to distance. Okay, but we have this thing called a pit and extra batteries, and they help a whole lot. So if you're gonna race VCGP, make sure you got more than one battery, or you have like a humongous battery. All right, I don't know of any bike that has big enough batteries. All right, maybe 0. All right, hey Zero, come out and race with us, man. What's up? How come you guys aren't coming out and racing against us? You guys got an FX, and FX has modular batteries, right? You can swap the batteries off of FX. I would think an FX would do pretty good, all right? If you set an FX to be hardcore dirt bike, all right, at least do a chain conversion on it, I think it would do pretty good, all right? I've never ridden one in the dirt, guys. Okay, it's a fun bike to ride, though, okay? Or DSRX, all right? So Zero has this bike called a DSRX. It's basically a DSR, like the Dual Sport, but it's like the, it's a bigger DSRX, okay? And you could race that. They race adventure bikes in Virginia City Grand Prix, and I think it has a pretty big battery, all right? So maybe you wouldn't have to swap batteries on it, or maybe you could do a fast charge on it. I don't know, man, but I would say your best bet to win Virginia City Grand Prix with a Zero bike is to get a FX, put a chain kit on it, put good tires on it, all right? Put good tires on it, and have 3 batteries, okay? And I heard those batteries aren't cheap either. Okay? But yeah, but if Zero came out, you know, factory Team Zero came out with the FX with modular batteries, I think they could win this. Okay? I don't know why they haven't tried. Okay? We've been doing this for like 4 years, and Zero was crickets. Okay? I don't know what the deal is. Why not? Zero, if you want me to ride an FX, send me an FX with like 3 batteries, all right, and a chain kit, and I'll race your bike in Virginia City Grand Prix 2025. Okay, but anyway, Haze Mega wants to get that Arctic Leopard bike. I don't know if that, I seriously doubt that's gonna happen, though. I don't have money. Okay, all right. Yeah. Anyway, if you want to sponsor Haze Mega with a bike to ride, you better give me a bike that has like at least 3 batteries. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching. Haze Mega out. That's my VCGP results and like fantasy VCGP racing. All right, Haze Mega out.